Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
Mataji.
Pranam.
Dandana Pranam.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Dandana Pranam. Hare Krishna. Let's start.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dandana Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaudhirayet Nashtaprashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamaśloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 12th chapter, we will read verse 17, 18, 19. To 17 I will read because there is no purport, and half of you will read 18 and half of you will read 19. Okay. Pranaglaho ayam samara ishva aksho vahan ashanaha atra nagyayate amushya jayo amushya parajayaha. Pranaglaha, life is the stake. Ayam, this samaraha, the battle. Ishu aksha, the arrows of the dice. Vahan asana. The carriers, such as the horses and elephants, are the game board. Atra, here in this gambling match. No, not. Nayate is known. Amushya, of that one. Jaya, victory. Amushya, of that one. Parajaya, defeat. Translation by Zivangir Shahpad ki jai. O my enemy, consider this battle a gambling match in which our lives are the stakes. The arrows are the dice, and the animals acting as carriers are the game board. No one can understand who will be defeated and who will be victorious. It all depends on providence. Shri Shuka Uvacha Indro Vritavacha Shrutva Katalikam Apujayat Grihita Vajraha Prahasams Tam Aha Gata Vishmayaha. Venkat Narasimha Prabhuji Krishna. Venkat Narasimha Prabhuji Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sri Sukavacha Indro Vrutavacha Shrutva Gatalikam Apujayat Gruhita Vajraha Prahasamstama Aha Gata Vismayam Aha Gata Vismaya.
Thank you. Thank you. Madhumai Krishna Kanta Mataji Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranams Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Shuka Uvacha Indro Vrutravachah Shrutva Gatalikam Apujayat Gruhita Vajraha Prasan Tamaha Gata Vismayaha. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna. Chitra Mohini Mataji Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranams Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Shuka Uvacha Indro Vrutavacha Shrutva Gatalikam Pujayat Gruhita Vajrapahasan Stamaha Gata Vismayaha. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Surya Prakash Rao Prabhuji Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prabhu, your voice is not coming.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pranams. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Sukha Uvacha Indro Vritavacha Shrutva Katalikam Pujayat Gruhita Vraja Prahasanstam Aha Gata Vismayaha. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Usha Dyavati Mataji Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranams Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Sukha Uvacha Indravrito Vacha Shrutva Gatalikam Apujayat Grihita Vajra Prahasams Tam Aha Gata Vishmamaya. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Madhusoni Mataji Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी, दंडवत प्रणाम माताजी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्रीशुक उवाच इन्द्रो वृत्तवचः श्रुत्वा गतालीकं पूजयत गृहीतव्रजः प्रहसंस्तमाः गतविस्मयः। थैंक यू माताजी। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, rest of you will read the next verse, so please keep your hands raised. Shri Shuka Uvacha, Shri Sukdev Goswami said, Indraha, King Indra, Vritavachaha, the words of Vritasura, Shrutva, hearing, Gat Alikam, without duplicity, Apujayat, worshipped, Grihita Vajraha, taking up the thunderbolt, Prahasan, smiling, Tam onto Vritsasur, Aha said, Gata Vishmayaha, giving up his wonder. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sukdev Goswami said, hearing the straightforward instructive words of Vritsasura, King Indra praised him and again took the thunderbolt in his hand. Without bewilderment or duplicity, he then smiled and spoke to Vritsasura as follows. Puppet by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. King Indra, the greatest of the demigods, was astonished to hear the instructions of Vritsasura, who was supposed to be a demon. He was struck with wonder that a demon could speak so intelligently. Then he remembered great devotees like Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj, who had been born in the families of demons, and thus he came to his senses. Even so-called demons sometimes have exalted devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore Indra smiled reassuringly at Vritsasura. Verse 19. Indra uvacha aho danava siddho asi yasyate matir idrishi bhakta sarvatmanat sarvatmanatmanam suhridam jagatishwaram. Revti Ratnangi Mataji, Hare Krishna, go ahead please.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी प्रणाम माताजी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। इंद्र उवाच अहो दानव सिद्धो असि यस्य ते मतिरदृशी भक्तः सर्व आत्मनात्मानं सुहृदं जगदीश्वरम्। हरे कृष्ण माताजी, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you. Uttama Padma Mataji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। इन्द्र उवाच अहो धानवसिद्धोऽसि यस्य ते मतिरिषि भक्तः सर्वात्म आत्मानं सुहृदं जगदीश्वरम्। हरे कृष्ण माताजी।
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Shakti Avasthi Mataji, Hare
हरे
Krishna.
कृष्ण माताजी, दंडवत प्रणाम। अहो दानव सिद्धोऽसि यस्य ते मतिरीदृशी भक्तः सर्वात्मनात्मानं सुहृदं जगदीश्वरम्। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Pranandini Madhavi Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी प्रणाम माताजी। इंद्र उवाच अहो दानवसिद्धो असि यस्य ते मतिरीदृशी भक्तः सर्वात्मन् आत्मानं सुहृदं जगदीश्वरम्। हरे कृष्ण माताजी, थैंक यू माताजी।
Indra Uvacha, Indra said, Aho, hello. Danav, O demon, Siddha Asi, you are now perfect. Yasya, whose? Te, your. Mati, consciousness. Idrishi, such as this. Bhakta, a great devotee. Sarva Atmana, without diversion. Atmanam, to the supersoul. Suhurdam, the greatest friend. Jagadishwaram, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Indra said, O great demon, I see by your discrimination and endurance in devotional service, despite your dangerous position, that you are a perfect devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul and friend of everyone. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 22, Yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tataha yasmin sthito na dukkhena guruna api vichalayate. Established in Krishna consciousness, one never departs from the truth, and upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken even in the midst of the greatest difficulty. An unalloyed devotee is never disturbed by any kind of trying circumstance. Indra was surprised to see that Vritsasura, undisturbed, was fixed in devotional service to the Lord. For such a mentality is impossible for a demon. However, by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, anyone can become an exalted devotee. Striyo Vaishyas tatha Shudraste api yanti param gatim. An unalloyed devotee is sure to return home back to Godhead. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyan Anjana Shalakaya Chakshir Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Gadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinbandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namastite Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanuste Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namne. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shnivadi Paschatya Deshatarine. O my enemy, consider this battle a gambling match in which our lives are at the stakes. The arrows are the dice, and the animals acting as carriers are the game board. No one can understand who will be defeated and who will be victorious. It all depends on providence. Sukdev Goswami said, hearing the straightforward, instructive words of Vritsasura, King Indra praised him and again took the thunderbolt in his hand. Without bewilderment or duplicity, he then smiled to Vritsasura as follows, and spoke to Vritsasura as follows. Indra said, O great demon, I see by your discrimination and endurance in devotional service, despite your dangerous position, that you are a perfect devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul and friend of everyone. Alright, so we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, which is called as the Prescribed Duties of the Mankind, chapter number 12, which is called as
Uttasura glorious death.
Vritsasura's glorious death.
Yes, with Sasura's glorious death. So we are in the conversation between Sasura and Indra, where Indra's thunderbolt has fallen off from his hand, and he's now feeling embarrassed, and he's standing quietly along with his elephant Airavat in front of Sasura, and he's hesitating to pick up the thunderbolt to fight again out of the embarrassment. And Vritsasura is trying to give him the spiritual instructions and encourage him to pick up the thunderbolt and fight again, because he must not claim defeat so early, because the defeat and victory, honor or dishonor, happiness or distress, fame or defamation is all under the hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All we can do is fight. So right now, the demand of the time is that he needs to continue to fight and let the providence take its decision. No matter what it is, we still have to he still has to fight. He still has to do his duty of fighting. And now this was the last instruction, right? Verse number 17, where he's saying that each one of us are a part of a game plan. Consider this battle a gambling match. Our lives are at stakes. Arrow are the dice. Animals are the carriers, acting as carriers at the game board. No one can understand who will be defeated, who will be victorious. It all depends on providence. You know, sometimes you thought that you will be victorious, you will throw thunderbolt on me, and I will just collapse, and that's how it was, but it has not happening that way. So you're not able to understand who's going to win or who's going to lose. So take up. So after hearing such instructions from Vritsasura, Indra's heart changed. You know, because if we hear from the mouth of a pure devotee, the purification happens, right? Prabhupada says that there's so many professional reciters of the scriptures of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Why the emphasis is given to hear from the pure devotee? Why can't we hear from anyone? Because it's the name of God, and name of God is pure, so anyone can take the name of God, right? But why is it emphasized that no, that's not right? The right thing is to hear the name of Krishna from the mouth of the pure devotee. Why? Because it has the potency to purify us. Okay, yes, the name of God itself is pure enough, but when it comes from the mouth of a pure devotee, it purifies us more at a more rapid speed. And so much so when Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken from the mouth of Sukadev Goswami, it is like the fruit which is tasted by the beak of a parrot becomes even more sweet, right? So, and it is described in 7th chapter, first verse of Bhagavad Gita also, that how this purifies the heart of a conditioned soul, because the mercy factor of a pure devotee flows packed with the potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and both are required. We need both. Okay, understand that Krishna has said that tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadakshanti tad jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. Surrender. Go and inquire from a spiritual master who they can tell you the truth. Why? Because they're tattvadarshina. They have seen the truth. Krishna is never saying surrender to me directly. Okay, surrender to a spiritual master. So Vritsasura is why Vritsasura's instruction has churned the heart of Indra, and why his bewilderment, his duplicity in the heart is gone. Why? Because it is coming from the lotus mouth of Vritsasura, and Vritsasura is a pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why he is a pure devotee? Because Anyabhilashita Shunyam. He has no other desire. Is the first qualification, right? Jnana karma adi anavritam. He is not trying to make his position strong in this world anymore. He said he doesn't care for anything, even the Dhruva Lok or Brahma Lok or Mahar Lok, Tapa Lok, any Lok, he doesn't care. What he cares is Vaikuntha Lok. Right? He's a pure devotee. This is not an easy statement to make. And he's not just saying it, he's showing it too. Right? There is a saying in English, action speaks louder than words. So his actions are also speaking. Okay, a conditioned soul might speak something but might not act like that, because there is a duality, right? We're in the platform of duality. We are not on the absolute platform. So when we act on the platform of duality, we are always confused, we're always bewildered. How did I do this? How did I say that? How did they say that? How did they do that? They said they'll do that, but they didn't do that. Why? Because this is the action and reaction of the material energy, because we are in the bodily concept of life. And as long as we are going to, we'll keep on putting our faith on ourselves in the bodily concept of life, or keep on approaching someone who is also on the bodily concept of life, this duality business will go on. And we will always get doubtful, because duality creates doubt, no? Who am I? Reality? Is this the reality? Is that the reality? That is why it is very important to look at the life from the absolute perspective. And that is why it is very important to associate with the people whose aim of life is also to achieve that absolute, to look to absolute perfection, which is to become a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is why the instructive words of Vritsasura was able to slash the duplicity and bewilderment from the heart of Indra. And he became very fixed in his position. And he had no doubt that he has to fight now. He's gonna show a good fight from here on, as we'll read in the coming forth verses of this chapter. So whenever we have a doubt in life, okay, that should I do this, should I do that, don't act. Acting in the clouds of doubt is not going to bring any more clarity than the doubt itself. Then Prabhupada said, do what? Sit down. It is, the mind is so restless. Sit down. Chant Hare Krishna. If you can't chant Hare Krishna, sit down and look at the deities. Look how nicely dressed Radharani is, how nicely dressed Krishna is. So just, put that mind there, because these are the instructions of the pure devotee. They will act. They will act. And we will come out of our bewilderment. This place is very bewildering. Okay, so it's not, don't get surprised that every day we get bewildered. Every day there's like a part of me is like, knows that I'm not the body, I'm the soul, and my only business is to become Krishna conscious. And then the other part of me says that, but I have these things lined up. But I have these if and buts attached to this statement. That's the very common phenomena. There's nothing uncommon about it. But what is uncommon is that we are trying to understand and become Krishna conscious. That is very uncommon. Okay, it's very uncommon, and it is very rare to come across a devotee in our life. It's very, very rare. If we have met devotees in our life, if we have read Bhagavad Gita, if we are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is not common. It's rare. People, almost all the people I've met in my life have something in their life which is precious. Okay, it may be a memory of their loved one, it may be some piece of jewelry, it may be some writing, it may be some achievement, it may be something that their family did. Something is like precious, like they consider it's precious. It's like precious means what? That there is no price for it, right? That's precious. Yes. Have you also met people like that, or are you also have something precious, very precious? Yeah or no? So most of the people in the world have something which is they value as precious. Could be anything, memories, nice, precious memory, precious. So, but if somebody has, that means there is no price for it, right? My whole assets is on one side, and this particular thing is on one side, and there is no match. So, like that, if somebody is chanting Hare Krishna, if somebody has associated with devotees, if somebody is reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, it's rare. It's very deep. It's very rare phenomena. It is not common at all. It may appear very common because we are conditioned soul. When Krishna came as a human being, and most of the people thought that he was maybe some super powerful human being, but human being, right? Avjanati mama manushim tanumashritam. Right? So when I descend in the human form, fools deride me. So in that way, even God can be mistaken as a human being. So we can also become very familiar with our with our with our association, with our chanting, with our reading, with our access to the scriptures, with our human form of life, with our association or link with Indian origin. We can, also become very familiar. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? Actually, then familiarity breeds contempt. Then we become lax, and then we lose the focus, and then it becomes more of a comfort. Okay, this is my comfort zone. It's fine, there's nothing wrong in it, but the growth does not happen in the comfort zone. The growth happens in the outside the comfort zone. So if we want to become more and more Krishna conscious, we have to take the risk. Like Vritsasura is, he is glorified now by Indra for exactly the same thing, that because of your endurance and your uh, because of your endurance, in your devotional service, I see that you have become a pure devotee, and you are in a dangerous condition. So, to become a devotee of Krishna is not a very common phenomena. To chant Hare Krishna when one is fully conscious in their lifespan is not common. To be able to go and serve the devotees is also not common, because those qualities, those activities are the activities that feed the soul and take the soul, revives the memory of the soul to go back to Krishna. So the memory becomes awakened, that okay, actually I'm not a part of this world at all. Otherwise, I was listening to Prabhupada lecture, slumber. He was explaining slumber. See, he said there are two kinds of sleep. One sleep is that, and okay, everybody sleeps. Physically, we can see that they're sleeping. But then he said another sleep is called slumber. And in slumber is that I am awake, but I am sleeping in my spiritual life. So it's in the slumber. I am awake, I am full, I'm working, I'm functional, my eyes are open and I'm thinking, moving around, but I'm still in slumber because my spiritual life is sleeping. So he said Krishna consciousness movement is made to wake up each and every soul from this slumber and bring them bring them forward to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and make the and reestablish our connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in that way. So why we should lose chance for anything? There's nothing. There should be nothing that can match this, match this precious asset that we have in the form of practice of devotional service. Nothing. We cannot match with it anything. Prabhupada explains that how Rupa Goswami, or I think Chaitanya, no, who is that he quotes Chanakya Pandit. Chanakya Pandit say that one can be very rich, but they cannot pay for, no matter how rich one person is in terms of um, the material assets, but there is no way that they can pay for a second that's lost. So time is more precious than money then. He was analyzing in that class. I heard that Prabhupada was saying that Chanakya Pandit said that one can be very rich, millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, Brahma, Kuber, were very rich, but they cannot pay for the time, 1 second that's lost. And then he quoted that this is, I don't remember, he said this time, this PM, this, now next PM, next minute, no, this gone, forever gone. So that means time is more precious. So time is more precious. The cultivation of devotional service is more precious. And developing endurance in devotional service is more precious. Because even at the most trying time, one will not be, one will not take, one would not like to depart from this Krishna consciousness. You see, Vitasura was explaining few verses ago that one person, conditioned soul, doesn't want to die, right? We don't want to die. But then we have to die. Conditioned soul has to die. And at the time of death, it has to loosen its connection with its family, with its assets, with its everything, with everything that they build during their life. At the time of death, everything gone. But if one builds an asset of Krishna consciousness, one will not depart from that ever. It's a very deep and secret phenomena, and also very protective phenomena for the soul. Imagine that I'm going to die and I still not be losing what I have in Krishna consciousness. I still be very protected, and I might actually end up in a better destination after I leave this body. It's rare. It's very rare. So become intelligent, discriminate, and analyze that what's more important, and triage and place things in the order of importance in our lives, so that if we do what is most important, other things will align itself. My Gurmat says this: if you do first thing which deserves to be done first, then all other things will align themselves. This is how it works. If you put Krishna first, all the zeros will align itself after the one. Okay, I think I'll stop here. Any questions, reflections, realizations, corrections, complaints? The very reflective discussion here.